Another quarterback recovering from injury this offseason. Panthers QB Cam Newton. Let's take a listen to head coach Ron Rivera with an update on his shoulder.
He's just going through the rehab process, and there really is no timetable. You know, he's continued to work with the trainers on the side and do whatever they ask of him. And, he'll continue to progress, and we'll see where he is, at the end of the week. I continue to feel good about him, but again, we're going to listen to what Cam has to tell us. I'll listen to what the doctors tell me and what the trainers. And again, he's going through the process of his rehab program. At some point, he's going to have to throw the football. And it just so happened that the other day he did. And as I said, somebody came in and took a picture, which we really don't appreciate people snooping on what we're doing around here.
We saw him running out the tunnel. It looked pretty awesome and happy to see that. And he was throwing again after his second shoulder surgery in 2 years. And according to our very own Tiffany Blackman, the team will wait to see how he feels at the end of this week before they decide if he will participate in mandatory minicamp, which for them kicks off next week. So, Nate, how good could this Panther squad be with a fully healthy Cam Newton? We've seen, I think, what his ceiling was in that crazy season 2015.
It's not just good, it's great, because they have a running back that could easily be one of the most versatile running backs we've seen in the last decade. And having playmakers around him that are healthy, that right there is going to help. Like, even though he started so fast last year, I have to approach this the same way. And I don't want to be negative Nancy in this first segment of this hour, but I have to look at his season coming up through the same lens as I look at Carson Wentz. I'm going to get excited. I'm going to reference the 50-touchdown season, and Cam Newton took his team to the Super Bowl, and he was our MVP, and he's quarterback LeBron. Blah, 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 blah. People at home have heard this over and over from me. But I can't sit here and say I'm concerned about Carson Wentz and not say the same thing about Cam Newton. Last year, he looked great. And then all of a sudden, he was skipping balls on the ground. So as much as I want to sit here and listen to Rivera and say, well, listen, when he starts throwing, he's throwing, and Cam looks good right now, I got to wait until middle of the season for Cam Newton, because Cam Newton is one of those guys that will himself to play tremendously well at the beginning of the year. But if his body doesn't hold up by week 8, then once again, we're talking about Cam Newton. Hey, what's wrong? Because Cam's not going to tell us. He'll wait until the end of the season, and then he'll go get surgery and say, guys, I had this, this, and this, and I couldn't do it. I just want to see Cam make it through week 8 and still continue to ascend. If he does that, then I'll get excited and say they'll be damn good when Cam Newton is healthy.
I think Cam Newton's shoulder might be the biggest X factor in the NFC South, because I know what we're getting from the Saints. I think the Falcons, Kyle, you've been big on them, are going to make a big bounce back here this year. And I think Tampa's going to be significantly better. This Carolina team is loaded, top to bottom. They are loaded on offense. They're loaded on defense. They added to the offensive line. Yesterday, they added Gerald McCoy. I mean, if Cam Newton's healthy, and then we've said it 3 years in a row now, if Cam Newton's healthy, watch out. And they were 6-2 last year when Cam Newton was healthy. And then things hit the skids, got hurt, and then after that Pittsburgh game, they were never the same. So, to me, it's the biggest X factor. And I don't know if you guys saw all the stuff with Rivera. He was pissed yesterday. He was pissed that there was photographs taken of him throwing, that he was practicing on the side. It wasn't supposed to be for the public consumption. And someone took photos of it. It leaked online, and he had to address it. And he's like, hold off. But you know what, Ron? You can't have the guy out there if you don't think that it's going to be photographed. You've got tall skyscrapers in Charlotte. If you don't want him out there, don't put him out there. Truth of the matter is, this team will not go as far as they should if Cam Newton is not 100%. The only way to do that is to make sure you protect him in these months and make sure he's fully back.
I don't want to hear about Cam Newton in May. You know what I mean? Like,
right, go on,
to a man himself, Cam Newton would probably not want to be talked about. We saw him last year with the towel.
You're right, though.
I know. No, here's the thing, though. We all got a charge in the show when we showed that shot of Cam running with the towel over his head. And Peter said it looks like Rocky. He doesn't look like Rocky. He looks like Adonis Creed. I mean, like, there is no more pivotal player. I always struggle with that word. What is that? There is no more pivotal player in the NFL than Cam Newton. He is the number one. He swings more power than anybody else.
That's true.
When he's right, the Panthers could win the Super Bowl. When he's not right, then go 3-13. There's better players. No one is more pivotal. So when I see him get healthy, that doesn't just change the Panthers. That changes the NFL. It gets me fired up.
I will say this, and you mentioned that Steelers game, and I just looked up the score. They gave up 52 points to the Steelers that game. So I like that you're saying that they're loaded, more on offense and defense. It's not just up to Cam. They didn't lose 7 of their last 8 games just on Cam's shoulder. They gave up game-winning drives in back-to-back games and those 52 points. Do you think that defense, that's why I didn't ask just about Cam on this question. The first question was about Wentz just being the quarterback. This was, what about the Panthers and how you're feeling about them? You're confident this defense can come to play in this division this year?
I think so. I remember they lost that tough one to Detroit.
Yeah, game-winning drives.
The whole thing.
And the Seahawks.
I am confident in the defense, and it's a good question.
I'll tell you another guy, too.
They added guys.
When it comes to health with the Panthers, Greg Olsen.
Yeah.
Big time player when it comes to what this team can do in consistency week to week. If he's healthy, it's a big deal too.
Kyle was mentioning how Cam's the most pivotal
Welcome to
guy.
the club.
Exactly. Right.
One of those.
We're doing this top 16 tournament for the wide receivers.
Yeah.
I have no idea where I would put Cam Newton right now on a list of top quarterbacks. Is he top 5 or is he 15 to 20? That's what's so fascinating about this.
That's what I mean.
Well, we know what we're doing next week,
Quarterbacks.
Trey.